Number one reason that prevents us from going deep, and I'm talking about 3 main reasons so that when you go home, you're like, oh, I'm seeing this pop up in me, I'm feeling the resistance. Number one reason we stop from going deep with our followers, vanity metrics. Numbers. Numbers matter. What if I'm not an authority? What if I'm not an important? What if people don't want to listen to me because I don't have as much as this person who sells the same thing? But the thing that I know is that numbers don't matter on Instagram. They really don't. Photos matter. Captions matter. Engagement matters most. This is not something I made up. This is Instagram. With their latest algorithm release, they came out and they said, the way you get your post seen is not that the algorithm is some boogeyman out to get you. You can't blame the algorithm. The algorithm is math. The algorithm is democratic. The algorithm looks at your stuff and says, are people engaging? Are they liking? Are they commenting? Are they posting? Because if they are, we're going to show it to more people. And if they like and they comment and they post, we're going to show it to more people. If nobody's engaging with your content initially, less people will see it because your audience, the audience, has said it doesn't matter to us. So what does this mean? I have come to believe and know, trust me, your post will be seen by more people if you have an account with 1,000 active and engaged followers than 10,000 followers who passively scroll by what you do. Numbers don't matter. Engagement does. Because the thing that we now know is that when we see it, we're focusing on the numbers, we're focusing on the numbers. We know that we can grow, and we know that we can grow by engagement. That natural, organic type of engagement is what we should all be aiming for. And the best part is that it doesn't look thirsty. The second reason that stops us from going deep with our audience is we don't want to look irrelevant. We want to be at the forefront. We want to be an authority. We want to be avant-garde. We want others to look at us and say, hey, she's doing it really well. But I know, with all honesty, that your only objective should be to be relevant to a small group of people who will invest in the thing that you're selling. I don't want you to be all things to all people in all ways. Why? You were not created to be vanilla ice cream. How many people walk into 31 flavors and say, you know what, it's vanilla today. Just vanilla, nothing else. No, people go in and they have like the nuances of the ice cream. Oh, no, this group don't eat ice cream. I forgot who I was talking to. I know you're like, oh, you mean like almond butter and grapes? Very few people, if put at a fruit buffet, are choosing the apple, right? They're going to go for something a little bit more exotic, a little fun. You should always aim to be the nectarines and the strawberries and the passion fruits. Drake, shout out on the fruit bar. Okay, that is our objective because we know that people who invest become the best evangelists. And when you have other people talking about what it is you do, you grow by trust. So y'all are seeing the pattern now. I'm saying stop growing, but what I really meant was stop the thirsty growing. Start the organic growing. Start the engagement growing, start the trust growing. And the third reason that stops us, that prevents us from really moving in the direction that we want to, is that number 3, we become so concerned about being popular and not profitable. Now, some of us might be saying, like, well, can I be both? Yes, I want you to. That is the ultimate goal. I want that more than anything else for you to be popular and profitable. But my good/best friend Taylor Swift once said, if you chase 2 rabbits, you lose them both. So, if you are not popular and profitable, baby boo, I want you to choose one. And if you want to be popular, God bless you, I root for you, go on, do the dang thing, I'm not the speaker for you. And I'm okay with that. If you're here and say, you know what, Jasmine, I want to serve a small group of people in a highly profitable way so that they then go and amplify my business and brand. And then ultimately, I'm having more than a 40% profitability ratio in my business year after year. I say, yes, boo-boo, we're going to do the dang thing. Because the thing that I know is that likes don't pay my bills. Neither do other people's opinions of me. Clients do. I'm going to take care of them. And I don't need to be popular. And I don't need to be for everybody. And I want you to know that too. Because here's the thing that we know is that happy clients are the best form of organic growth on Instagram. Can anybody testify? Not enough of us when we go home. We're going to change that. I want half the room next year. And the following year, I want 90% of the room to say, happy clients, grow us on Instagram. We're going to testify. Because the thing that we're highly focused on at this particular time is organic growth. That's where I want you to focus. So when I say stop growing, what I mean is stop spinning your wheels without having a clear direction of how you're converting your followers to your customers. So if then you're on the same page with me, and I said right page. Well, yeah, on the right page. If you're on the right page or on the same page with me, what is going to be the mindset that you need when you go home? Who are you going to have to be today to become the entrepreneur that you want to tomorrow on Instagram? You have to be able to tell yourself every morning with a deep and utter sense of relief and belief that you belong. That you belong on Instagram, that your voice matters, that you're there to serve a group of people. You have to know that when you wake up each morning, that you have a seat at the table. That you walk into a room and you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a space for you. That you matter and your opinion matters. And let me tell you something. If for some reason you have come to believe that there is not a seat at the table for you, build your own dang table. And when you do, I want you to put so many chairs around it. And I want you to know that the more chairs you put out, the more people that are going to sit. And these are going to be the people who think like you, who trust you, who know you, who support you. And when you look at all the other tables that had shut you out, say, I come from a place of abundance because I know I belong. The second piece of mindset that we need to radically change the way we up-level our business by going deep with our clients and not wide is that you must wake up every morning and say, I make a difference. You do not have to change 100,000 lives over 100,000 days. We need to never underestimate the power of one. Because if you change your client's life, she goes home and she changes her home. And she changes her neighborhood. And the neighborhood changes the city. And the city changes the county. And the county changes the state. And the state changes the nation. And the nation changes the world. One person could start with your flicker of a flame. So how do you know that when you wake up you make a difference? You believe it. You know that you are impacting lives beyond the one person you're serving, and God bless you as you build your business beyond that. And that you know every morning you stand up and say, I'm in my purpose. Do I want more people to be able to have the effects of the impact that I can create in their lives? Yes. Are you working towards that? Yes. But on this day and in this moment, I am standing where I need to be, serving the people who are at my table. The third and final step to actually changing the mindset that we need to become the entrepreneurs and business owners that we want to be on Instagram is to understand that you are enough. That every day you wake up and saying, I am doing the best I can with what I have. Yes, I am not where I want to be, but I am so happy for how far I've come. Because the thing that we know is that your eyes are special, your ears are special, the way you write is special, the way that you communicate is special. No one is you, and that is your superpower. But all of a sudden, when we start growing, when we start stepping out, we're going to see resistance from other people. Other people who are on the outside looking in and being like, oh, look at her. Ain't that sweet? Bless her heart. When you start doing things that shake up the status quo specifically with where you are, people say, oh, girl, you're just trying too hard. And when that time comes, because it's not if, it's when. When somebody says, you know what, girl, you're just shining too bright, your objective should be, I do not care to dim my light because I am too bright for you. Look the other way. Here's a pair of sunglasses. I will continue to shine. I am going to do the thing I was here on this earth and created to do. So I am going to do something before we head in to Q&A. We have about 5 minutes for it. Can I have you stand up with me for 1 second? And this is the one thing that I know that you can implement immediately walking out of those doors today. Repeat after me. I belong.
I belong.
I make a difference.
I make a difference.
I am enough.
I am enough.
One more time. I belong.
I belong.
I make a difference.
I make a difference.
I am enough.
I am enough.
Oh, hails, yes. We have 5 minutes. 5 minutes for Q&A. I know that there's mics set up. I talk fast, y'all listen slow, so get to questions. I'm hoping we can get to like 3 or 4 of them. As we're getting set up for those questions, we are here. I want you showing up on Instagram. You can download 5 free photos. I'm a professional photographer. I left law school, I built my dream. These are all San Diego related photos. San Diego skyline, palm trees. Like I want you, because we're in this room, and this room is cute, but it ain't outside. You know what I'm saying? Download those photos, get them out, share them, tag it using this hashtag. Any questions? Oh, Lord have. So the question was, how do I incorporate my background and my ministry? I believe, now for those of you who are unfamiliar, I have a twin sister, and her name is Bianca, and she's definitely in the ministerial field. I casually joke that I'm the heathen twin. So my ministry is to be church for people who don't go to church, and her ministry is to be church for people who go to church. I think we balance it out. I was like, pray for my soul. How do I show up and be real? I create stories. Because the number one, I hate saying this, but it's the truth. The number one thing to move the needle, the marketing needle, the conversion needle, is to communicate who you are, why you do, and what makes you special. And the way that we do that time and time again since the history of mankind is through story. And I can do more. St. Francis of Assisi said, share the gospel, and when you need to, use words. My objective is to show you love. My objective is to show you grace. My objective is just to be me, and hopefully along the way you see a glimmer of a broken person who has been redeemed. Okay, well, we just went to church. Okay, is there another question? Yes, doll, yell it out.
So I'm actually in my last semester of law school.
Oh.
I want to know how you got past people like maybe shitting on you for leaving.
Okay, so how did I get past what people's opinions were of me when I left school? Let me just save you a lot of time. People are going to have opinions about you. How tall you are, how short you are, how ugly, how pretty, how blonde, how brunette, how young, how old. People have opinions. Whatever you do, my daddy always said, if you don't want people to have an opinion about you, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. You have been called to more, though. That is what we know. So people are going to have opinions, and they're not going to have opinions. Your objective is to dust your shoulders off a la Jay-Z and say, I'm going to do it. My objective isn't to make you happy. It is to live in my purpose and the thing that I have been called to do. And let me tell you something. Anything that we have gone to bring us to this point has better prepared us for where we're going. It has not been a waste of time. You are smarter, you're a hustler, you're a fierce woman that somehow is going to incorporate this, even if for nothing, it is with a client contract. Then we move forward from there. There you go. Just it. Let's get to another question. We have one right here. I'm going to stand up and yell it, baby boo.
Hi, I'm Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea.
A decent sized following on Instagram already, and as my Instagram has grown, or I've changed a lot as the time has gone on, and I've had multiple phases, multiple different kinds of followers.
Got it.
And as the algorithm has happened, dwindling engagement.
Yes.
What do you recommend for someone that already has a large following?
So she has a large following. She's had different iterations of her business. She's seen her engagement drop. And I can tell you right now, the reason why the engagement dropped is not because the content isn't the same. It's because your audience has become too diverse in too short of a time, so they don't know how to engage with you anymore. If I were you, I would put a clear stake in the ground and say, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. If my posts no longer serve you, please feel free to unfollow me. There was a time in my business where I publicly pivoted from being an internationally recognized photographer. And people are like, what the heck is she doing leaving this industry? And I said, it doesn't matter who's going with me. I saw the promised land. This is where I'm going. Like it or hate it, I'm going. If this is no longer of you, please go. This particular event is special to me because it was new content. It's the first time that I tried it, and I was able to stand on this stage and test it out with people who were nice and receptive. So let's talk about an unpopular opinion, and the unpopular opinion that just came out on stage was that I told somebody to burn their list. Who's standing on a stage talking about Instagram, telling people like, let go of the followers who are not serving you? And there I am making sure that if that's one thing that people remember is like, speak who you are, let people know where you're going, and if they don't want to join for the ride, it's totally okay. Remember, you will go farther on Instagram with 1,000 highly engaged people than 10,000 people who are just passively scrolling on by.